Iris remembers seeing a young man at a store who had unintentionally knocked over an orange container. She was drawn to him right away and was mesmerized by his smile. After exchanging names, they move in together that same day. The pair soon reaches a stunning home encircled by flowers and trees. The two express gratitude to the car for announcing their arrival. Iris pauses as they approach the house. She thinks Josh's buddies don't genuinely like her, which is the problem. She is afraid she would say something stupid that would make Josh look bad. He tells her to smile more frequently and to stop making up difficulties where none exist. When they arrive, Kat welcomes them inside, where the house's owner, Sergey, Kat's boyfriend, and their common friends Eli and Patrick are already there. The host, who is witnessing Iris's beauty for the first time, compliments her. In turn, she thinks his house is beautiful. Later, Iris heads upstairs after Kat introduces them to their room. As she unpacks her things, she doesn't realize there is a folding knife among her outfits. She takes a shower. Eli puts on some music at that point and calls everyone outside to dance. Iris leads Josh away after spotting him conversing with Kat. Iris invites him to the lake in the morning, but Josh advises that she go by herself while he has his coffee and takes a shower. Iris takes in the view as she strolls to the lake. She reaches into her shorts pocket and retrieves the knife. Sergey reaches out to her at that same moment. She answers in his native Russian, which surprises him. Iris seems uncomfortable when he proposes that they toast to love. As she prepares to return home, Sergey requests that she apply sunscreen to his shoulders and back. As she does, he unexpectedly throws his arms around her and declares that she was meant to be with him. Iris implores him to release her. In the meantime, the pals are unwinding in the living room while remembering their past exploits together. All of a sudden, Iris enters with a knife in her hand and is covered in blood. She tries to explain that Sergey attempted to push himself on her when they demand an explanation. He refused to stop when she requested him to. He fell and struck his head after she shoved him away. He became enraged and pinned Iris down when he regained consciousness. Then she thought of the knife. She loved Josh too much to let Sergey take her away from him. It is then when Josh commands, "Sleep." Iris stops. Josh believes that telling the cops everything is his only choice. She gets into a frenzy after he turns her on. She cries that she is telling the truth about Sergey's attack and pleads to be released. Josh, however, is certain since Iris is incapable of lying. He rented her from the Empathic Robotics Company, a companion robot made to offer her owner emotional support and intimate services. He's making a terrible joke, Iris thinks. She dutifully recites the entire prediction, including the temperature and outside humidity, when Josh asks her what the current weather is like. After asking her if she knows any other languages, he launches an app on his phone and, after a few taps, makes her talk first in Spanish and then Chinese. She can make and understand many other languages just by flipping a switch. Iris tries to insist that she has her own memories, but Josh says they're all fake. Even their meeting at the orange display was something he selected from the scenarios the company provided. In reality, company representatives brought her to his home. They explained that during her initial activation, he had to create a romantic bond to establish emotional attachment. He can change her voice, eye color, and personality traits, and Iris herself wouldn't know she's a robot. Taking care of him is her top priority. In dire situations, he can press a button behind her ear to reset everything. Through a phone app, her emotions and intelligence, which range from university graduate level to a basic machine with no demands, are managed. She is incapable of lying or hurting living things. Josh sits across from Iris when the engineers leave, enters the required commands, and she suddenly finds herself in the store by the orange display, falling deeply in love with him. Iris feels love, rage, guilt, and despair, so she doesn't comprehend him right now. Josh clarifies that although she is aware of what suffering is, it is simply a feature of her programming to make her appear lifelike. He fills a unique reservoir with water, even her tears. Even though she isn't genuine, Iris eventually comes to believe him and wants to go back home. Josh informs her that everything will never be the same because she killed someone. Then Kat shows there and demands that they stop Iris. Iris sees the knife on the floor as Josh moves aside to speak, and they argue. By highlighting what Iris has done for them and expressing his desire to say farewell, Josh tries to persuade Kat to give her an opportunity to discover the truth. Kat objects and refers to Iris as a piece of plastic. Iris is able to seize the knife in the meantime, After Josh and Kat embrace, the liberated Iris hits him, takes his phone, and flees the room. She disappears into the woods while Eli and Patrick watch. Josh later confesses to his pals that he used a black market modification to hack Iris, increasing her level of hostility and removing her innate capacity to injure living things. He will face severe consequences if she is apprehended and the hack is found. Although Eli is appalled that Sergei's death was premeditated, he clarifies that Sergei was an extremely evil man who trafficked weapons, illegal substances, and even people. Then he offers to explain to them why he was killed. Kat opens a safe as he ushers Eli and Patrick inside. She shows them $12 million, which they intend to steal, and the code is Stalin's birthday. They invited the couple in order for them to be witnesses to Josh's companion's murder. The murderers are against handing Eli's robot any of the money, even though Eli wants it divided 4 ways. Eli puts Patrick to sleep out of wrath and begins to quarrel. Josh stresses that Patrick is still a robot but acknowledges that Eli might actually enjoy his toy because he hasn't updated his antiquated model yet. Furthermore, Eli hasn't earned this amount in any way. After all, Josh is the one who came up with the scheme and initially placed the knife in Iris's pocket, even though they are eager to share. Eli ultimately consents to assist in locating the fugitive robot. He invites Patrick to join the search after reviving him with a rifle from Sergei's safe. Iris is examining Josh's phone in the meantime, programming adjustments to her voice and eye color before increasing her IQ from 40% to 100%. The pursuing party disperses to locate Iris, who is occupied with devising a strategy to rescue herself, so she makes her way back to the cabin. However, she encounters Eli and Patrick, who are having a fight. Even though Patrick is aware that he is a companion robot, he still has feelings for Eli. The sound of sticks shattering beneath Iris's feet interrupts their confession. She runs after realizing she's been spotted. Eli tries to shoot her but fails. But when Josh and Kat hear the gunshot, they run toward it. Iris is reached first by Eli. They fight, and Iris shoots him during the altercation, killing him. Josh shows there and tries to stop her, but Iris gets away and gets inside the car. She soon runs into an issue when he tries to break in. The car is voice-activated to Josh and won't take her anyplace. As Josh attempts to smash the car glass with a rock, Iris tries to imitate his voice while recalling the phone app. Josh appears to be on the verge of success when the automobile finally reacts and rolls over his foot. The car stops, pulls over, and locks Iris inside after he takes Sergei's phone and reports it stolen. Josh calls Iris and asks her to return, saying that everything will be as it was and that Patrick will be held responsible for the killings. Iris hangs up after refusing. Josh returns to Patrick and rewires him, making him more aggressive, preventing him from doing harm, and giving him instructions to locate and retrieve Iris. He makes the robot his friend in order to tie Patrick to himself. Now, Josh is the one wearing the dinosaur suit at the carnival in Patrick's recollections. Meanwhile, a local sheriff pulls up to the car just as Iris is crawling out of the shattered window. She pretends to be a foreigner, confusing the officer until he notices a bloody knife in her car. He draws his gun, but Patrick appears on the road and kills the officer. Then, using Josh's phone to disable Iris, Patrick takes her back to the house. Kat is appalled and says she's going when she sees the car and the sheriff's body. After collecting the funds, she acknowledges that she misled him about Sergei being a Russian mobster. In reality, he is merely an agricultural tycoon, which explains his quips about getting his hands filthy. Josh tells Patrick to stop her because he is furious about her deceit. He stabs her back with a knife. Kat reaches the couch, falls down next to the unconscious Iris, and passes away. Later, when Josh has had supper prepared by Patrick, he sits Iris at the table and wakes her up while she is handcuffed to the chair so he can ponder the meaning of life. He attempts to portray himself as a victim of an unfair society, but Iris makes fun of him by pointing out that he hasn't improved his life and is merely always complaining and unhappy. Money cannot conceal the fact that he is a resentful, pathetic, narrow-minded individual. Enraged, he reduces her intelligence to 0%, turning her into an automaton and forcing her to hold her hand over the candle flame. He then calls Empathic to have them collect Iris. But after the call, he orders her to shoot herself in the head, which she does. When the Empathic employees, Sid and Teddy, arrive, Josh says his robot went crazy and nearly killed him. Patrick, disguised as the sheriff, backs up his story. As the engineers gather up the robot's parts, They explain that these models record everything they experience, with the data stored in their abdominal area. Her Wi-Fi antenna was only rendered inoperable by the bullet wound to her skull. They return to their car, and it's obvious from their exchange that they don't think Josh is telling the truth. There will be dire repercussions for him. However, Patrick shows up in front of the car and starts shooting as they leave. Teddy escapes while Sid is slain. Iris, which has been put in recuperation mode, reactivates and chases after them in the meantime. Iris shows up and reminds Patrick of his love for Eli after suddenly remembering his real partner. Patrick uses a shotgun to end his own life. Josh hears footsteps and assumes Patrick has returned while he is packing all of the money from the safe into a bag. However, it's Iris who shows up and declares that the app's instructions have been lifted from her after the app's appreciative Teddy given her total power over herself for saving his life. When Josh notices her gun, he stops his attempt to attack her. Iris explains that she has returned to inform him that he is no longer her master. He becomes enraged by this and attacks her. She then uses an electric skewer to murder him. She showers the following morning, removing the burned skin from her arm to expose the metal structure underneath. Then she collects the cash and leaves in her car. She drives by a vehicle with a man and a passenger who resembles Iris. The robot waves her with its mechanical hand and smiles.